What is up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the dark and twisted world of crime. Brace yourselves as we count down the top 5 most shocking crime stories that will leave you speechless. Seriously, guys, some of these stories are so wild, so unbelievable, they sound like they're straight out of a horror movie. But the terrifying part is, they're all real. I've spent a ton of time looking into these, and honestly, each one is more mind-blowing than the last. Get ready, because this is going to be intense. We're talking about cases that have baffled investigators for decades, crimes so heinous they've become infamous, and mysteries that still keep people up at night. These aren't just stories, they're deep dives into the darkest parts of human nature, and honestly, it's pretty chilling stuff. I want us to go through these together, try to understand the impact they had, and just, wow, process how insane some of these events were. This isn't just a list, it's a journey into some of the most disturbing events in history, and I'm actually kinda nervous, but also super intrigued to share them with you. So grab your metaphorical detective hats, maybe a stress ball, you might need it, because we're about to get started. I've picked 5 stories that are absolutely jaw-dropping, each for different horrifying reasons. From unsolved ciphers to cult leaders and trials that gripped entire nations, we're covering a lot of ground. Make sure you're comfortable, maybe dim the lights for full effect, and let's just jump right into it. This is going to be a heavy one, but totally fascinating. Let's go. Alright, kicking off our list at number 5, we've got a case that's basically the blueprint for an unsolved mystery. I'm talking about the Zodiac Killer, dude. This guy terrorized Northern California back in the late 60s and early 70s, and the craziest part, he was never caught. He'd taunt the police, send these cryptic letters and ciphers to newspapers, and just seemed to revel in the fear he was creating. Imagine living in that area, knowing there's someone out there actively bragging about his crimes and daring anyone to stop him. The sheer audacity is mind-boggling. The Zodiac claimed to have killed 37 people, though investigators only officially linked him to 7 victims, 5 of whom died. But it's not just the murders, it's the whole persona he built. He had a symbol, a specific way of communicating, and he played this twisted game with the public and law enforcement. He even called into a TV talk show once. Can you believe that? The level of psychological warfare he waged was insane. People were genuinely terrified, and the police were just stumped, chasing shadows and trying to decode messages that sometimes led nowhere, or were just more taunts. And even now, decades later, people are still obsessed with this case. Amateur detectives, internet sleuths, everyone's got a theory about who the Zodiac was. There have been suspects, sure, but nothing concrete enough to close the case. He just vanished, leaving behind this legacy of fear and a puzzle that nobody can seem to solve. It's like he was a phantom, a real-life supervillain who got away with it all. The mystery itself is what makes it so chilling and keeps it alive in our collective nightmares. It's absolutely wild. Coming in at number 4, guys, this one is just pure, unadulterated horror, the Manson family murders. We're talking late 1969 Los Angeles, and a series of brutal killings orchestrated by this dude, Charles Manson. He wasn't even the one doing the physical acts in the most infamous cases, but he had this insane, cult-like control over his family, mostly young, impressionable followers. He convinced them to commit these horrific acts, supposedly to ignite an apocalyptic race war he called Helter Skelter, based on a Beatles song. It's just so twisted. The Tate LaBianca murders are the ones everyone knows, and the details are just gruesome. Pregnant actress Sharon Tate and 4 others were brutally murdered in her home. The next night, Lino and Rosemary LaBianca were killed in a similarly savage way. The killers wrote messages in blood at the crime scenes. It's the kind of stuff that you can't even imagine happening in real life. The randomness, the brutality, it sent a shockwave of fear through Los Angeles and the entire country. Nobody felt safe. The idea that a group of seemingly normal young people could be brainwashed into committing such atrocities was terrifying. Manson himself was this charismatic, manipulative figure who preyed on vulnerable people. He created this whole counterculture commune, but underneath it was this dark, controlling, and violent ideology. The trial was a media circus, with Manson and his followers acting out, carving swastikas into their foreheads. It was just a spectacle of madness. Even though he didn't physically commit the Tate LaBianca murders, his influence was so powerful that he was convicted for orchestrating them. This case showed the terrifying power of cult leaders and the dark side of the free love era. It's a truly disturbing chapter in American history. Chapter 3. Alright, for number 3, we're shifting to a case that is just heartbreaking and incredibly frustrating, the JonBenet Ramsey case. This was a 6-year-old beauty pageant queen found murdered in her own home in Boulder, Colorado, the day after Christmas in 1996. Guys, the details surrounding this are just bizarre and so sad. A ransom note found in the house, the little girl's body discovered hours later in the basement. It's every parent's worst nightmare, and it just got more confusing from there. The investigation was immediately under intense media scrutiny, and honestly, it was kind of a mess. There were accusations of a botched crime scene, and suspicion quickly fell on her parents, John and Patsy Ramsey. They maintained their innocence, suggesting an intruder was responsible, but the public and media were relentless. The ransom note itself was super weird, very long, written on a notepad from inside the house with a pen from the house. It just didn't add up for a lot of people, leading to endless theories about who was really responsible. To this day, the case remains unsolved, and it's one of the most high-profile cold cases in America. There have been so many theories: an intruder, a family member, a botched kidnapping. The fact that it involved a child and a child in the pageant world added this whole other layer of public fascination and, frankly, judgment. It's tragic because a little girl lost her life and there's been no justice, no definitive answers. It's a mystery that continues to haunt everyone who hears about it. A truly sad and perplexing story. Chapter 4. Okay, at number 2 we have a case that wasn't just a crime story. It was a global media event, the O.J. Simpson trial. This was insane, guys. O.J. Simpson, a beloved football hero and actor, was accused of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman in 1994. The whole thing kicked off with that infamous white Ford Bronco chase, watched live by millions. It was like a movie playing out in real time, and everyone was glued to their TVs. The trial itself, dubbed the trial of the century, was pure spectacle. It had everything: celebrity, race, wealth, forensic science debates, and a dream team of defense lawyers. Every day brought new drama, new twists. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, including DNA, blood samples, and a history of domestic violence. But the defense, led by Johnny Cochran, poked holes in the investigation, famously arguing, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit," referring to the bloody glove found at the scene. It was captivating, and it divided the nation. And then came the verdict: not guilty. The reaction was just unbelievable. People were cheering in some places, crying in others. It sparked huge debates about the justice system, racial tensions, and celebrity privilege. Even though O.J. was later found liable for the deaths in a civil suit, the criminal trial's outcome remains one of the most shocking and controversial verdicts in history. It wasn't just about the crime. It was about everything it represented in American society at that moment. It was a defining moment, and the impact is still felt. Chapter 5. And finally, at number 1, the case that, for me, is the absolute epitome of shocking, we have Ted Bundy. This guy on the surface was everything you wouldn't expect a monster to be. He was handsome, charismatic, educated, even worked on political campaigns and at a suicide hotline. He was the kind of guy who could charm anyone, and that's what makes his crimes so utterly terrifying. He used this charm as a weapon, luring young women to their deaths across multiple states in the 1970s. Bundy confessed to 30 homicides, but authorities believed the actual number could be much higher. His methods were horrifying. He'd often feign injury or impersonate authority figures to gain his victims' trust before abducting, assaulting, and murdering them. He was cunning, intelligent, and managed to escape custody twice, which just added to the terror and the nationwide manhunt. The idea that someone so outwardly normal could be capable of such depravity was a chilling realization for so many people. He shattered the illusion that monsters always look like monsters. His trial in Florida, especially for the Chi Omega sorority house murders, was one of the first to be nationally televised, and people were captivated by this articulate, good-looking man defending himself against charges of such brutal crimes. He even got married in court during his trial. It was surreal. Bundy's story is a horrifying reminder that evil can wear a very deceptive mask. He played games with investigators right up until his execution, and his case forced a deeper understanding of psychopathy and the true nature of serial killers. It's a deeply disturbing story and definitely the most shocking on our list for the sheer scale and the chilling persona of the killer. And there you have it, guys, our countdown of the top 5 most shocking crime stories. Seriously, going through these again, it's just a lot. Each one is a stark reminder of the darker aspects of human behavior, and the impact these events had on so many lives is truly immeasurable. From the calculated cruelty of Bundy to the unsolved mystery of the Zodiac, these cases are etched into our history for all the wrong reasons. It makes you think, about safety, about justice, and about how these things can happen. It's heavy stuff, I know. But it's also important to remember these stories, to learn from them if we can, and to honor the victims by not forgetting what happened. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me through this one. It's different from what we usually do, maybe a bit darker, but your curiosity and engagement mean the world. We tried to be respectful while still conveying just how shocking these events were. Let me know in the comments which case you find the most disturbing, or if there are any others you think should have been on this list. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, or I guess were captivated by, might be a better term for this topic, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories and other content. We've got a lot more planned. Stay safe out there, look out for each other, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.